sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave and weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. We know it all.
That are taking place. Some Palestinians are being charged up to $2,000
I'm not going
a
to
seat.
South Africa for the G20 because I think their policies on the extermination of people are unacceptable. So I'm not going. So I won't refer to anything having to do with South Africa. South Africa has behaved extremely badly. But
to pursue the agenda of white supremacy.
You think Trump is pursuing a white supremacist agenda?
Yes, I think so.
Sunrise over DC, coffee in my hand. Saw the headlines from a faraway land. South Africa's politicos
running their mouth again about America and me. Where does it all end? They're about a whole year of the same old tune.
name calling in tall tales beneath the African moon. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare, pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough,
Patience wearing thin.
gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin? They talk about freedom and justice for all, while their own people are answering a different call.
Farmers on their homesteads
living in fear and dread.
Minority voices, silenced words left unsaid.
Promises like tumbleweeds blowing in the breeze, while their leaders keep on preaching,
Bringing us to our knees. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough.
patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
I tried to stay quiet,
Let it roll right on by.
but a man can only take so much beneath God's sky. That's the honest truth.
When you see folks suffering, it just ain't right.
Gonna set the record straight with all of my might. Oh, it's more trash in the USA. I declare, while their own folks are struggling beyond all compare. Pointing fingers outward, ignoring what's inside. For Afrikaners and minorities, nowhere left to hide. Well, this cowboy's had enough.
Patience wearing thin.
Gonna tell the world the truth.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, more trash in the USA.
But the truth will find its way.
Pretoria, listen up to what I gotta say. God bless America, come what may.
Come what may. Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright, so we can find a way to dodge their tangled mess, avoid their chaos more, say less. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time. Politicians dance and spin, blatant lies with a practiced grin. Blame the moon, blame the stars, blame the traffic or faulty cars. You think they're 6, not 35, playing games to stay alive. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted line. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Nada, nada, don't waste your time. Celebrities with tails so tall, lost my eyes.
Well, I expect Ofcom to take its next steps to engage, not weeks. The government
See, you're living in your fantasy.
Good evening, good morning, folks, wherever you may find yourself around the world. It is Saturday night on this side of the world. Find yourself around the world. Saturday. Hey, Saturday night. Once upon a time, the Scottish band, the Bay City Rollers, told us about that. Welcome back to the program, folks. Yes, I haven't been doing Saturdays. That's kind of the norm. It's the one night I take off, but it's a long day, and I had no news earlier. And YouTube is, what have you done for me late in the platform? So I figured I'd better do something lately for you all. And we have a night house tonight. Surprise, surprise. We have a busy day tomorrow, chock full of a news broadcast, interview with a refugee, then the Refugee Cafe Clutch tomorrow. Whew. Lots going on tomorrow. So, yeah, welcome back to the program. Good evening and good morning wherever you find yourselves around the world. U.S., no, that's not new. Mad Max, that's about 8 hours old, the alert to get out. And I'll cover that tonight. U.S. has told people to get out of Venezuela, Americans. Mixie, welcome. Recruit team member, thank you for joining us. Work people, Christophe Seal, Umanel, Charles Edward Koch, Quest Computer. What's happening in Iran? Nothing good. It's all going sideways. The Iranians have slaughtered reportedly as many as 72 innocent civilians at this stage. That's the story. That's the narrative coming out. But we wouldn't know from the British Broadcasting Corporation because they refused to print the media. Iranians living in the United Kingdom going bat crap crazy, protesting outside the BBC's offices last night. Chance to help me around today. I don't know, Quest Computer. It may very well be the case. We may already be helping the Iranians. It's entirely possible the United States government is jamming communications, shutting down satellite links for IRGC communications networks and hubs, and also doing things to actively degrade the ability of the regime to target civilians. You don't know that. I don't know that. I know we're capable of that, but I cannot disclose that. I suspect that's happening. Well, yeah, the Shah's son is ready, of course. Yes, I think the United States is already committing assistance to the Iranian people. You just don't know it, and I don't know it. And no one's mentioning that. Not anybody's mentioning that. You notice none of these pontificators or so-called experts on social media or South Africans living in America who are suddenly Iranian experts or Americans or experts on Iran. None of them are mentioning that, in fact, we're probably already doing something very direct and specific, which is undisclosed and clandestine to help the Iranian people. I suspect that's the case. Yeah, I don't know the actual figures. We don't know. We have no confirmation. We've heard bodies are piled all over the place. There is lots of rank speculation, but without genuine news coverage or anyone on the ground other than video clips from here and there, it's difficult to confirm anything. What is certain is that the Iranian regime does not have control of the country of Iran tonight. They do not. They are on the precipice, and we'll see if they fall. Martin Fundamental Petrus funded Linda, Anime, and Alex in from Ohio. What's going on, man? Momo's back. Good to see you again. Conrad Renhuis, Gina Mullman, in from out west. This is why I did a stream tonight to talk about Iran, because this, you never know. This could be when the thing falls, but it's almost morning there. Well, it is morning there, and we haven't heard of the regime falling, so who knows when it's going to fall, if it will. Caroline, welcome to you. Janet. Hey, Janet, how's it going? Janet Liddy. Anton Mulder's back. David Ruiz, Alan McGill, Momo, Mad Max, Karen Lange. And by the way, Davi Root will be on the program announcement on Monday. We're going to be talking about South Africa's currency and its future. And that'll be on Monday. Economist, well-known South African economist, Davi Root. Nicholas says, greetings from Balito. Rest of my day, no, I took a short nap. I was really knackered after the rugby broadcast. Yep. Pat Schultz, good morning to you. CB. Phoenix, Karen Lang. Peter Cronje. Mad Max Quest Computer. Who is Goldie? I don't know who Goldie is. Peter Cronje, welcome to you. Hey, Dan, what's going on, Beefcake? No, he's not here tonight. So last night on the stream, I was greeted while I was talking about Iran and other things with someone saying, stop lying about MLSPS. You're an asshole. And I'm like, what? Huh? I asked guys, what are you talking about? I'm not talking about, what is MLSPS? Is that like multiple sclerosis, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease? What is that? I'm not lying about anything. I'm talking about Iran. What are you talking about? I don't know who that person is, Quest Computer. Yeah. Hey, Modified Intel. Hello to you. So this guy, Greg, was it Greg Abbott or whatever, in last night? I didn't recall, but I went back and looked, and he said later he called me an asshole again. I mean, I didn't call him names, and that's kind of when I had enough of his nonsense. And so he said, no more donations. I'm like, what donations? You didn't give anything, dude. You just came here and called me an asshole and called me a liar. What are you talking about? Well, he did donate in the past, and I don't know who the person is, but he says he's American. And, I mean, I don't understand the juvenile attitude of people. So, Greg, if you come back, come on back and talk like an adult. I never called you a name. I don't even know who the hell you are. You just started attacking me, and I don't know what that was all about. And then you ramped it up, and you did it again and again. And then I questioned you, and then you were just rude again. I don't know what your issue is. If people can't have a civil conversation, and if that's your approach, the first time you chat, you enter a comment, your comment is an insult to the host. I mean, first off, you're an American. You insult our colonel like that, and I take question whether you're even American or not. We respect our military in this country. It's just ridiculous to see someone act that way. Anyway, I don't know what his deal was, what it was all about. But he did donate in the past. He was on the program a couple times. He's an episodic viewer. So I don't know. Oh, I know why, Terry. It's because he didn't like what happened because he's living denial. He's living denial. See, look, I mean, I'm not thrilled that the moron is dead. I'm not thrilled that an officer's life now is going to be turned upside down because he was put in jeopardy. But the facts are the facts. She was a felon. She committed a felony. She committed a second felony. She committed a third felony. She refused to follow the lawful orders of the police who were de-escalating the situation. The officers weren't amped up. The officers weren't on adrenaline. The officers quietly approached the vehicle civilly and asked her to move the vehicle. She refused. They told her to get out of the vehicle. She then drove backwards and then drove forwards with an officer's hands in the car, trying to open the door, endangering his life, and drove at another officer who she smiled at as she struck him with her vehicle, a 2,000-pound weapon, deadly force. The gentleman doesn't have to like that. It's just the truth. You can sit here and parse it all day. All these people think they're experts in this. The bottom line is the more evidence comes out, the less likely this guy's going to face any issues at all. Yep. Oh, Greg Adams, sorry. Yeah, I say Greg Abbott. That's the governor of Texas. Greg Adams, sorry. Yep. Buckman versus Sack, yeah. He was a bit of a douche, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah. She taunted us. Yeah, and the more evidence comes out today, they got video of her running her mouth the whole day and stuff. So, and look, I mean, it really doesn't matter what happened. The build up to that doesn't matter. Here's the bottom line. Law enforcement are driving through a neighborhood when vehicles block their path. If they block law enforcement, it's a crime. If they block your path, it's a crime. You cannot intentionally block the street. You cannot do that. That's a crime. She was asked to move. She refused. She was told to exit the vehicle. She refused. These are all criminal acts. Then she used her car as a weapon. She was neutralized as a threat to the public. She got what she wanted. She became a martyr. Yep, Quest, I got you. Right, but the problem is that with somebody, it's like the gentleman that was here a few months back, and I can't remember his name. He came on the program, and I think these are people that watch me on John B. Wells' Caravan at Midnight, and they find something I say interesting. They come over here, and I'm not a wackadoodle. I'm not an extreme lunatic who will agree with some of their views. For instance, if you all remember a few months back when things were slow on the channel, and there was all this moaning about the Epstein files. Who's talking about Epstein now? Nobody's talking about it because the only people that came out in it that were identified were Democrats. So the whole issue is dead. All these conservatives that were so worried about the Epstein files, so wrapped up in this, oh, Trump betrayed us. He didn't disclose. 5 times the Epstein files were released, different levels. Hundreds of thousands of documents were released. What happened? Nothing. Exactly what I predicted. Not a damn thing. They're not going to go after the rich and powerful. Doesn't matter if they're Democrats or Republicans. But Trump's covering up. There's no cover up. For 4 years, these so-called Republicans stayed quiet while Biden didn't do shit and release these records. And suddenly, it's all up to Donald Trump. And then this guy got pissed off because I said, what do you got? Are you obsessed with this pedo? I don't care. The only justice here is for the victims to sue the estate. He's dead. She's in jail. What more do you want? There's nothing more you can get except financial settlement from the estate. So do that. But no, people just want to go on and on. We want to know who's responsible. Why? Do you think they're going to be prosecuted? Hillary Clinton was never prosecuted for a genuine, valid, easily proven violation of the Espionage Act, which would have resulted in her being in prison for decades. Not even charged with a crime. Oh, you mean wipe it like with a cloth, the server? Seriously? Rich and powerful people will never pay the price. No, Peter, I say it all the time. This is why I don't drink and drive. 1 drop of alcohol, I will not get behind the wheel of the car. I don't break that rule. That's a self-imposed rule. Why? Not because I can't handle alcohol. I can handle alcohol. but because it's a weapon. I don't operate heavy machine or weapons while under the influence of anything. Simple as that. A weapon, a car is a weapon. Exactly. No one cares because there's nothing there. Now they move on the next thing. And they spent months wringing their hands and attacking Trump. Republicans. Supposedly conservatives attacking Trump. Trump is the only one that released the documents. Trump told Congress to pass the law and then signed it into law. And then they blamed him for not releasing documents. He did it. There's no there there. And now they're all wrong. They don't come back. So footsack, piss off on them. They can take off. I don't care. If you watch my show because you want an echo chamber, you're in the wrong place. Arctic and I disagree. Even Charles Van Alts and I have disagreed on occasion. Disagreement's healthy. You shouldn't agree on everything. Now, that's not carte blanche for you all start acting like clowns in the chat. See, there we go. Now we're going to have an argument. Charles thought he actually won. See, I let him win. Like little Cav, bellow for teats, and then once they get, they shut up. Mad Max, that's well said, man. That's a good farmer analogy, man. Like calves. That's a lamb. Sorry. And then they get their teat and they're quiet. That's funny, Alan. If the late night comedy guys actually use that joke, that would be funny. Call Greenland Epstein Island. Trump won't talk about it anymore. No, they show their true colors, Phoenix. They're not conservatives, not Republicans. The Candace Owens, those people, they're not real. They're just ideologues who want attention. Yep. That's the bottom line. Charles, tell yourself that. No, but I mean, it's really juvenile. I mean, for people to come on the chat. I mean, just think about that. That's not constructive communism. That's a joke. I mean, think about that. Here I am talking about Iran last night, and some dude comes in and says, "Stop lying about MSRP," or MLVS or whatever. And we're like, "What?" And calling me an asshole. And then he comes in again and calls, "You're really an asshole." For what? What are you talking about? The cheek of some people. No more donations. Dude, you really think I do this for the $1 or $2 you gave me 4 months ago in my chat? If you think I hang around here for Greg to show up and give me $1 or $2 4 months ago, you're really confused. Well, I don't bring him up. It just came up tonight to make a point. Blood circulation issues. Anyway, that's a clever one. We respect members. We don't have blood circulation issues. That's a good one. Okay, Chris, what's up? Welcome back. No, but the cheek of some people, if they don't like what's being said, just leave. I know people who are back watching the program now that didn't like what I had to say. They didn't agree with it, so they left. But they were adults. It's a shame they left. I mean, I watch things. I don't agree with everything Ronaldo says. I certainly don't agree with everything Byron Shepard says in Morning Shot, but I watch their program. I mean, it's I mean, if you don't watch things you don't agree with, how are you going to learn? How are you going to learn? Hey, Chris. I mean, how are you going to learn? I mean, I even listen to idiots like Bill Maher and MSNBC. How else am I going to learn what they're saying? Facebook to wish a friend in Australia happy birthday and saw an ex, very well-known South African musician UK called the officer a murderer. Followers attack to agree. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but yeah, no, Karen, that's so why is a person in the UK who's a South African weighing in on what happened in Minneapolis with such fervor? Is that person a law enforcement official? Have they ever had the authorization to use deadly force? Have they ever been involved in a combat situation or a law enforcement escalation? Probably not. Chris, I even listen to you. Of course I listen to you. What do you mean not? Don't be a smart aleck. Yeah, we got a refugee interview coming up tomorrow. This should be interesting. The gentleman says he owns a house. He bought a house anyway. Says he bought a house. He's a refugee, came in November. This should be fascinating. So I made a video a short while ago. And I did the video. Hey, Adrian aus der Schweiz. Minus 2. Ja, das ist oh, there's Greg. Hey, Greg, welcome back. $20. You're back, man. Dude, I don't understand you. Were you just trolling last night? We were just talking about you. I did a check to see if you're here to say hi to you. There's Greg Adams with a $20 super chat. I'm very confused now. Welcome, Greg. Welcome back. Everybody will welcome you politely. Let's see how things go from here. Why are my alerts not coming up? No, but it's a broader issue. I mean, it's happened before. We've had people, like I said the other day, Ken wrote to me. Ken was on the program. He's an OG from the very early days on the original channel. He stuck with us. One of the first people I actually met in meet and greet. Lovely person. Fantastic. Very articulate, very smart guy. And then one day he got mad about something I said. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, okay. And he was gone for like 2 years. Then he came back and he was here for a bit and then he disappeared again. Then I saw him on another channel badmouth me and saying stuff about me because people send screenshots. And I'm like, okay, well, then, dude, you're dead to me. So, anyway, he wrote to me the other day and said, hey, can bygones be bygones? I'm like, sure. As long as you don't talk crap about me on other platforms, we're cool. I don't get some things, man. Anyway, yeah, so, but back to Iran. We got to talk about Iran tonight, folks. It's crazy what's going on there. It's crazy. Look how forgiving everybody is. No hard feelings. Joe, Texas. Greg is the gentleman who just gave a $20 super chat, which was awesome. Thanks for the $20 super chat. Anyway, Chris was a bit nasty, and Chris apologized and came back, and we miss Chris. I miss Chris. I mean, look, I don't know. Look, you guys weren't there. And Chris, I don't know what you inferred from our interaction, but after the OP Plus meet and greet when I had to leave. And we were outside, and we got a hug and took a photo. I don't know how that was for you, but that was kind of emotional for me. You've gone through a lot, and you've shared a lot more than you probably should have shared on a program. We did an interview. That was kind of emotional for me. Now that was before we did the interview. But I mean, that the meet and greet that you put together at OP Plus meant a lot to me, and I was very grateful for that. And knowing what you're going through, what you've gone through in life, and meeting a person was kind of a deal. I was kind of emotional. I had to get out of there before I get a little choked up because I'm an emotional person. So, when you got bent out of shape and left, I felt betrayed. I was like, okay. And then you're an adult and you came back. So I love it. That's awesome. There you go. See? Yeah, it was. Did you see that in me, Chris? I mean, could Lee Roberts say, what's going on, man? Chris Haylers, could you see that in me? I mean, I tried to hide it. I don't know if I was successful or not. I was trying to hide it, man. Anyway, yeah, I have Facebook, man. I only do Facebook out of self-defense. Yeah, I know you were emotional. It was obvious, but I don't know if you could see I was emotional. So I'm glad you came back. I mean, I have never harmed anybody here other than a well-known person. I've picked on Joe Biden. I've picked on Donald Trump. I've picked on Sarah Poza. I've picked on, these are public figures, but people I don't pick on. And the things that I know about many of you, I never share with anybody. The only channel currently reporting truthful about Iran by having reporters communicating via Starlink or Tusi. No, that's okay. That's fine, Anton. But that's because Tusi's an Iranian. I'm not an Iranian. I don't have ties to Iran. I know the history as a historian. I know everything behind it, but I don't know people on the ground. So all I can do is evaluate the information out there. So, I mean, hey, I fully encourage people, if you're looking for the best information, go watch 2C TV. I will tell you that. Not now. Stay here and watch me. Don't go now. but watch 2C TV. I mean, the guy has access to people I could only dream of having access to. By the same token, if you want an objective, non-dog in the fight opinion about South Africa, I recommend you come here. I know people everywhere in South Africa, and I can reach out and touch the biggest names in South Africa most of the time. And I'm not a South African, so you're not getting a South African bias in what's going on there. Exactly, Joe. If we agreed on everything, life would be boring. But that doesn't mean we have to be uncivil to each other because we disagree. If we disagree, we don't have to be uncivil. There's no reason for it. I mean, look, what happened in Minneapolis was bound to happen, and it's going to happen again. As long as irresponsible retards like Tim Waltz and Jacob Fry, Brandon Johnson, Michelle Wu, Gavin Newsom, the twit in Seattle, and did you see the Portland police chief crying because he had to tell the truth that they were actually Tren de Aragua? It was a pimp and a prostitute, not a married couple who were innocent. As long as those idiots run around and foment sedition and insurrection and encourage these idiots to violate the law. Again, what the Chicago guy said, I haven't really talked to Rolf Meyer. Appreciate truth you speak, and those you don't have to speak. Okay. You don't even pick on your nose. We know when you have a minute and you'll tell. What are you talking about? The headband thingy in front of the on-air sign. Oh, it's a belt. It's a ostrich belt, ostrich shell belt from the Bushmen of the Kalahari. Oh yeah. Tim Waltz. I hope to see him in handcuffs. He's a stolen valor slime ball. He's a piece of human filth, a sludge. I mean, I hate to say that about somebody serving uniform, but he disgraced his uniform and then he used it for a political platform. The guy has nothing at all. Nothing at all. Anyway. Well, Greg's back, but Greg's not chatting. He's just chilling. So thank you for coming back, Greg. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, Tim Waltz. Oof, let me start on that guy. So let's go watch what the superintendent of Chicago Police had to say. By the way, I had to do some more work on my computer tonight, beyond just editing things. Oh, I do need to get back to the video that I talked about earlier. But before I get to that, okay, this is not what I need to see. Extra large icons. That's what I need to see. I need to find the Chicago superintendent. And yes, the folks who sent me the Buckman stuff, I will look at it. I have had less than an hour to myself in the past 4 or 5 days. So, I'm taking 5-minute showers because that's all I have time for. And I'm eating in 10 minutes. That's all I have time for.
Make this clear.
So, tomorrow I've got 3 broadcasts back to back. So it never ends. All right. And I'm prepping for the trip to Texas. So here you go. This is very important. This man is an Eista. Yes, an Eista. Yes, a legend. He is a legend. Telling you, buddy, you are a legend. Anyway, so this guy is fantastic. This is the Superintendent Snelling from Chicago Police Department. This man tells it like it is, and why other people don't stand up is beyond me. We need more of this in our society. Okay, listen to what he has to say.
Make this clear. Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are
Anime, it's not a tell. It's by design. If you interpret as a tell, that means you're getting the message.
Agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death.
Spot on. Folks, once again, this is why I have had a personal rule since I was a young soldier that I will not drink and drive. I don't hold other people to that. I realize there's a legal limit, and under the law, you're allowed to drink a certain amount. I will not drink a drop. That's why I so seldom drink, because I can only drink if I'm not driving. And because it's my rule, I won't do it. Yeah, give that man a bells. Absolutely, that's a serious law enforcement official right there. This nonsense, this lawlessness we've tolerated here in this country for the past 2 decades needs to stop. You have no right. Look, I was stopped unjustly in New York State and accused falsely of speeding. I won the court case. I drove 6 hours to New York to fight it because I committed no offense. No such offense. The man tried to tell me I was going 79. I was going 55 on cruise control. And I'll admit that when it crested the hill, it might have gone as high as 57 or 58, but it wasn't 79. Got pulled over because I had Maryland license plates and figured I wouldn't drive the 6 hours back to contest the ticket. Well, he was wrong because I was right and I was indignant. But the cop who came up to him was very disrespectful and rude. When he came to the car after pulling me over, I had my registration, my license, my military ID card, and my insurance paperwork out. And the reason I do that is because when I was active duty, this is unusual. Normally, you have to have everything in the same state. I mean, if I'm in Pennsylvania, I have to have Pennsylvania license plate on the car, registration for the car, insurance in Pennsylvania, and a driver's license in Pennsylvania. But I didn't. I had an Ohio driver's license because as an active duty military, my state of residence legally is Ohio, and I don't have to change it. My insurance was based in Texas, but it was licensed in Pennsylvania. but the address is Texas. And then my car was registered in Maryland because that's where I purchased that, and I had no obligation to change that registration. It's not required by law. And then I showed my military ID card because every time that a police officer asks for those things, it winds up a long conversation, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not delaying the officer, so I hand it. So he looks at the paperwork, he takes my military ID card, and he tosses it back in the car, throws it back at me in disgust, like I was trying to get out of the ticket. Then he goes and comes back and lies to me and says, I clocked you at 79. I said, that's impossible. There's a GPS unit in the car. It was on cruise control. We can check the date if you like. Well, 79. I'm not gonna give you a tick for 79. He gave it to me for like 60, 62, or 65, something like that. But I looked at what it would cost. That is an $800 fine or something like that, and 4 points on your license for exceeding the speed limit by 15 miles per hour. He was trying to railroad me in that. I didn't get obstinate with him. I didn't get in snotty or disrespectful. Even though he was an ass, he was a total jerk off. Didn't do any of that. I just respectfully responded to him. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's just a jerk. Maybe he's just trying to make money for the state of New York. I don't know. But there's no win situation here. I was not wrong, and I sorted it out later on. That's how you deal with the police. They have a tough job. Yes, Charles, politicians encourage, but they mask it by saying peaceful demonstration. But they're acting like blocking a road is a peaceful demonstration. Interfering with law enforcement operation is a crime. It's not peaceful. Yes, crypto noob, buttholes are everywhere. ICE trying to protect Americans from enemies. Renee knew the danger and put herself there. When we call this out, we are told we have lost our humanity because officers have too much power. Well, they're wrong, Jax, Cree. They're completely wrong. They can say that, but that's because they're idiots. These are the people that would allow 750,000 Rwandans to be slaughtered today, 850,000 Rwandans to be slaughtered. These are people who would sit by and wring their hands at Pol Pot while the Vietnamese did the right thing and invaded Vietnam and ended the slaughter. These are the same people that watch the slaughter and the rape and murder of people in Uganda, and then only the Tanzanians invade to end the slaughter. These are the people in the African Union, like South Africa, who are the African Union, who would demand that NATO do something about what was happening in Libya. Stop Gaddafi slaughtering the civilians. And then when they actually did it, they criticized them. Look, they're invading Africa. What are they doing? I'm sorry. You asked us to do it. You, South Africa, asked us to do it. You stood up in the African Union and said NATO must intervene in Libya. And then when NATO intervened in Libya, you cried about it, called it colonialism, because you're hypocrites. Actually, Joe, Texas, many of them, it is their job. On my radio program, we had a crowdsourcing fund. We had a crowdsourcing company executive on our program. A kid who was in college and started this to rent a crowd, and now he just does rent a crowds for every event possible. They pay people to come out and demonstrate. It's above board. It's a business. It's a legitimate business to actually do it. So yeah, a lot of these people, that is their job. Notice they're all blue-haired, pink-haired, white leftist liberals or old people, and most of them are white. Most of them are white. Yeah, they paid a day wage, exactly. Oh, you remember that? That's right. On May, that's what I was just talking about. I interviewed that guy on my radio program. Yep, he makes a lot of money at this. They're making millions of dollars, for rent a crowds. Yep. Do you want to see that belt, Mad Max? Do you want to see the belt? Well, Peter Cronia, we have lots of police forces. That's part of the challenge. Yeah, American criminals not like SAP's brutality. You're right about that. Yeah, here in South, it's all about corruption, no response. After breaking my house, they took 4 days to respond. Well, you're not alone. We had a suspected theft at our veterans organization. I called the local police chief, who makes an outrageous amount of money, and it was 8 days before he responded to my message. Didn't take my call. 8 days later, he responded. 8 days. 8 days. We pay this guy over 6 figures a year. No, he wouldn't answer my question straight about that. You're correct, Anime. Just now they're going to start calling all Karens Renee instead of Karen. Renee, you're probably not happy about that, but Karen's probably happy at that. Yeah. Well, but the South African government insisted. People forget that. I remember. I was there. They insisted that we intervene in. Renee says no. They insisted we intervene in the crisis in Libya, and then when we did, they called us colonials. But of course, we didn't intervene. NATO did, and we took a backseat to the French and British. One of the first documents they gave us when we arrived is your rights as a refugee and how to react when being pulled over. There you go. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's what they should do. The Iran death toll rises as the crackdown intensifies in Iran. It's getting spicy out there, folks. Military vows to intervene as demonstrations spread to dozens of cities and reports of deadly force mount. Again, the United States may already be helping people there. White liberal women are a danger to society. They should breed with themselves. The Karens come from Buckman. Iran's army vowed Saturday to join the crackdown of protesters, one of a number of stepped-up warnings from the country's security services. The army said it would firmly safeguard national interest, strategic infrastructure, and public property, blaming Israel for what it called terrorist groups for the unrest and vowing to thwart the enemy's plots. Spare me. Iran is looking at freedom perhaps like never before. The USA stands ready to help. Well, are we helping President or are we not helping? Are we helping Iran or not? I mean, let's make a decision here. You got to crap or get off the pot. Iran on edge as protests spread and government threats grow. Exact details impossible to obtain due to the internet shutdown. Protests in Iran continue through Saturday night. But again, as we said, places like 2C TV, no Iranians on the ground who have Starlink and are able to communicate. So not everyone is cut off from the world. But official channels are all cut off. And most Iranians are cut off. Yep. NetBlock said Saturday that the internet shutdown had reached 48 hours and counting. Filter Band, digital rights group, focused on Iran, said international phone calls were being blocked. Iranians in the diaspora reported being unable to reach loved ones inside the country. The latest development in a series of protests and strikes began 2 weeks ago with merchants in Tehran whose business has been wrecked by the recent depreciation of the rial, but quickly spread across the country to diverse social groups. They've been burning, supposedly, I mean, I can't confirm this, but I saw video footage purportedly they burned the Ayatollah Khomeini's tomb. They broke into it. They burned one of the big mosques. It's crazy. Now, I'm going to show you anyway because people don't see it. So, there you go. So, I got this from Botswana Crafts. It's not... Oh, that's cold. It's cold on the back of my neck. The shell. It is actually a belt. It goes around your waist. And it ties with those strings right there. That's leather tongs. So, this is ostrich shell beads, handcrafted by the Basara, the San in the bush. And this now would be expensive, but at the time, it was expensive at the time, yeah. It'd be a lot cheaper for me now. It was 500 pula. So 500 pula, but at 500 pula at the time was about, let's see, it was 5 to 1, so it was about $100. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, a little under $100 for this, something like that, yeah, at the time. Now it's like 14 or 15 to 1, so it'd be a third of that price. But yeah, this is, I have lots of things like this. I have lots of mementos from Africa. So I think I was showing this to somebody recently, so I brought it up. Got a nice set of a bushman's bow and arrows and spears. It's in a wooden glass frame case. Yep, there you go. Oh boy, hurry up. Proper election, don't disappoint the crown prince. Not sure it will help if he's installed, not elected. Yeah, that's a good point. Some people got kind of quiet in the conversation when they heard the U.S. seems to feel about this 67 thing. What 67 thing, Anna? What are we talking about? Alan says Mossad has enough agents in Iran. Yeah, well, they may be relayed to intelligence services in Washington, in London, and in Jerusalem, but it's not being relayed to the journalist. Protesters in Iran say that they see bodies piled up in hospitals after the crackdown. Several people protested in Iran in recent days told CNN of enormous crowds as well as brutal violence in the streets. Saw bodies piled up on each other. A woman in her mid-60s and a 7-year-old man described seeing people of all ages in the streets of the capital on Thursday and Friday. Friday night, over security forces brandishing military rifles killed many people. Protesters began December 28th, have spread to more than 100 cities. Biggest challenge to the Iranian mullahs yet. Providing rare insight into the nature of the protests amid ongoing internet shutdown, demonstrators in a different neighborhood of Tehran told CNN they helped a man in his mid-60s who's been severely injured in the crackdown. He had around 40 pellets lodged in his legs and had a broken arm. They tried to get the man medical help at several different hospitals, but the situation was completely chaotic. Other protesters told CNN the number of people out in the streets was incomparable with anything they ever experienced before, describing the scenes as unbelievably beautiful and hopeful. Wow. Iranian medical personnel and witnesses describe other harrowing scenes to pro-reform outlet Iran Wire. Never seen such scenes in my life, one of the medical workers is heard saying. The shameless people shot her in the head and neck. Do you have any idea how many patients we have until now? People rushed to the hospital to take the bodies of their children. They took their children and buried them in the same clothes. But in their custom in Iran, they're typically washed and covered in white cloth before burial. Here are the cities where there are protests. High degree of confidence, medium confidence, low confidence that they're actually taking place. Bandar Abbas we know about, Shiraz we know about, Tehran, Kermanshah, Tabriz, Mashhad, Abadan, Qom, Kerman, lots of cities. I have no idea what that 67 means. I never heard anything affecting U.S. people. That's news to me. News to me. Iran's exiled crown prince been asking people to protest. He's been exiled for nearly 50 years. His father, the Shah, was so widely hated that millions took the streets, forcing him from power. Nevertheless, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is trying to position himself as a player in his country's future. He successfully spurred protests in the streets Thursday night during massive escalation. The 65-year-old Pahlavi, who's in exile in the U.S., has in his homeland. What kind of influence? Well, apparently a lot. Born in 1960, he lived a gilded world of luxury as a crown prince. Yep, he inherited the throne from his father, an army officer, seized power and supported the British. His rule was seized by a 1953 CIA-backed coup. After his father's death, the royal court in exile announced that he assumed the role of the Shah in 1980 on his 20th birthday. But it's been 5 decades in exile. Yeah, children apparently have been killed too in this uprising. I have no independent verification of that. Trump is being briefed about options for Iran. Like I said, I suspect we're already supporting the protesters by shutting down communications. The president said he will be hitting them very hard if Iranian leaders kill protesters. Well, they've already killed dozens, if not hundreds. Iran is looking at freedom perhaps like never before, he wrote on Truth Social. I would say that we're happy to go and help Iran and restore order and help with the democratic transition within 12 months, as long as we are allowed to dismantle all of Iran's nuclear program. That should be the price for going in. Yep. And then Trump probably say he wants your oil too. I'm not saying that. Trump says he's ready to help Iranian protesters as the death toll rises. In remarks during a meeting yesterday with oil execs at the White House, he said Washington was closely monitoring the situation. Lindsey Graham said this is truly not the Obama administration when it comes to standing up to the Iranian Ayatollah and his religious Nazi henchmen and standing behind the people of Iran protesting for a better life. To the regime leadership, your brutality against great people of Iran will not go unchallenged. Make Iran great again. Wow. Yeah, no doubt future looks bright. That's the thing. They're messing around with Trump. Once he makes a decision, it's on like Donkey Kong. Yep. Americans are even out in the streets protesting against the Iranian regime in D.C. Look at this. Iranian Americans. Amid the rain and cold, Iranian Americans gathered in the White House on Saturday in solidarity with protests across Iran. What began as Iranian merchants protesting economic collapse evolved into a widespread call for regime change. All over the country, there's a call for regime change, down with the dictator, long live freedom. Today is the 14th day of the uprising. There's only gaining momentum every single day and every single moment. Nothing has been able to stop the people of Iran from driving for change in Iran, and they will succeed. Well, I hope they succeed. A friend of mine did a media expose on oil prospecting company trashing Okavango with zero benefit for local bushmen for his masters while teaching. Had to remove it as those exposing it lives threatened. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know of any oil exploration in the Okavango, and I've flown all over it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, just saying I don't know anything about it. Maybe in the Kalahari, but not in the Okavango. I don't know. U.S. has warned Americans to leave Venezuela immediately, which is what Mad Max was sharing with us earlier. Advisory comes a week after the snatch job. Armed supporters of Nicolas Maduro gathered in the streets after he was captured. American citizens advised to leave Venezuela as soon as possible due to the fluid security situation. There are reports of groups of armed militias known as colectivos setting up roadblocks and searching vehicles for evidence of U.S. citizenship or support for the United States. Citizens still in the country should frequently check flight information in order to leave the country as quickly as possible. Oof, that's not good. Thank you, Peter Cronier. No, I'm not familiar with that at all. I guess it shows my age. When I was a kid, we didn't make silly things up like the kids do now. The United States has hit the Islamic State in response to an attack on the troops. There's President Trump with the dignified return of remains at Dover base on December 17th. The Iowa National Guard soldier killed. The United States said today it hit multiple Islamic State targets across Syria in another retaliatory strike in response to the attack that killed American service members. The statement came from Central Command and did not identify locations or targets in the strike. Well, you know, Iran, they find themselves in a tough spot, the ANC. They've partnered up with the wrong crowd. The strikes are part of a continuing bombing campaign in response to a December 13th. There's an Air Force A-10 Thunderbolt. Yeah, it's a Warthog. Still around, man. They still have those things. Amazing. U.S. and partner forces conducted a series of airstrikes on the terrorist group ISIS targets throughout Syria on January 10th. This airstrikes began at 12:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, so it was evening over there. So I watched an interview with, Canadian Parliament Goldie, conservative. She was born around. That's probably who they're talking about. Video of Iranians in UK or Ireland placing Iranian Islamic flag at the embassy. Are you sure it was Iranian Islamic flag or was it the old Shah's flag with a lion on it? Joe, Texas, that's a burr. People understand the severity of the situation, what people must be going through standing up against the government's military. Oh, there's a lot of challenges. They've got the sole authority for, deadly force. Yep. Yeah, the old flag. Okay, I was going to say that makes more sense. Yeah, okay, so programming announcement again, folks, just very quickly. Tomorrow we've got the news, then a refugee interview, then the Cafe Clutch. Also, I went through a bunch of emails tonight, and I did a video about people being denied refugee status. A number of people, not a lot, but some are saying they've been denied refugee status. But what they're telling me is probably the truth, but it seems implausible from what I know about the program. So I made a video to explain how it's supposed to be done and what their options are. Their options are very limited. But many of these people write to me and say, I have no idea. I've been told I've been denied, or it's my investigation was settled. Now it says it's open again. That's why I told people that portal is a trouble. It's not for you. You shouldn't be something you should see because it changes all the time. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that there's a venue or an avenue that has to be approached. What has 1,000 views? Oh, my video has 1,000 views? Okay. Yeah, at this hour, that's not bad on a Sunday morning. Yeah. And a Saturday night this side. Yeah, so the point of the video was, also getting messages from people saying it's unfair. I'm in Thailand. I'm in Cambodia. I'm in Ireland. I'm in Namibia. Why can't I come? It's unjust. No, it's not unjust. You're not eligible. Yeah, but I'm a South African. So what? You're not a South African living in South Africa, suffering from unjust racial persecution. It's not an immigration program. People need to quit confusing immigration with refugee. We didn't just say, oh, look, South Africans are welcome to come here. We didn't say farmers or Boers or Afrikaners or white folks. We didn't just say you can just come to America. That's not how the program works. You have to have legitimate past experience or future fear of persecution. And you have to be in South Africa. You can't be persecuted by the ANC in London. You might be there because you were being persecuted, but that's not germane anymore. Now you live in London, which ostensibly is free as long as you don't mind living in Islamistan. Under it, Sadiq Khan. Well, it's not just the fair skin that doesn't agree with the ANC, Peter Cronier. First off, there's 43 million black South Africans. Of the 43 million black South Africans, only about 7.8 million of them voted for the ANC. 7.8 million. They got 8.5 million votes. About 7.8 million of them were black. Maybe 8 million if we exaggerate. So 8 million out of 43 million. So what percentage of that is black South Africans that actually agree with the ANC? Okay? That's not what I want. It's a calendar. I want this. So let's just do the math on that. So that would be 8 divided by 43. That would be 19% of black South Africans agree with the ANC. 19%. Okay? So it's not exactly a white and black thing, okay? And the government does know it's the ANC. They don't think it's South Africans. No, most of my evening live streams now consistently over 1,000 streams. Yeah, that's correct. And my daytime ones are hitting 20 or 1,000 or more. We've talked about that. Greg, are you still here? You went quiet, man. Thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Nobody's beating up on you. People are like, welcome you. Let's see how many there are in that video. 1,500 in that video. It has been up for 1 hour. 1,500 this hour. That's not bad. Okay. So, yeah. So my lives. Let's take a look at my lives. Well, Peter, that's one thing. A lot of people write to me and go, love your channel, huge fan, been watching you forever, and they're just lying to me. I mean, look, I appreciate that. People say that, but I mean, I'm not stupid. You know, if you watch my content at all, not even consistently, but occasionally, most of the questions people ask will be answered. I've addressed this thing. I even have a video on background information, derogatory information, security checks, why they're important, how they're done, what it means. And I've been talking about it endlessly. Just like I've been talking about all these other things endlessly. So people write to me and go, well, you know, I watch your stuff. I know you're not watching my stuff. Now, some people do watch this stuff, but some of them just, it's people give them information. And they give them my number, give them, this channel. Here's the email, write to this guy. He'll do it for you. I mean, I have people that write to me, and it's pretty clear that they think that I run this program, that I have authority over what's going on with them. I don't. I can affect some things in some ways, but I don't. I just can't do everything. Remove the current. Oh, they replaced it. Okay, the line stuff. Thank you for that, Anton. That's more clarity there. Still no action from the USA. Is the ANC making a mockery of the USA? No action on what, Gordon? No action for USA on what? On what? You may have missed things, but Venezuela, Ukraine, South China Sea, Chinese live fire weapons fired at the island Formosa, Gaza, Iran. You might have noticed South Africa really doesn't matter. What is the U.S. supposed to do about South Africa? I'm a little lost. Well, Chris, a year later and asking you a few times, and I've even reached out to all over, and even UCS is waiting to see if those in the U.S. still, if those of us still in South make contact through the program. I'm not sure I understand your point, Alan. You've been waiting a long time. Yeah, I don't watch Cutleo's videos. I watched a couple of them. Well, it does, Martin. It says you must reside in South Africa. It's very clear. It wasn't clear early on, and there was supposition, and I said, I don't know, because the whole issue of H-2A visas came up. So, yeah, that was early on. But back to the videos. So last night's Night Owls has 6,000 views. Yesterday's news, yesterday being Thursday, because it's still Friday for me, Thursday's news has 35,000 views for the live stream. Whew. The Night Owls the night before had 4,500. The news the day before had 21,000 views. The Night Owls before that had 3,500 views. The news before that had 4,400 views, which is respectable. 35 is off the charts. The raid on Venezuela, the interview I did with Dr. Mulder, 45,000 views. Ramaphosa doubling down on Night Owls, 6,500 views. The news daytime, 9,700 views. Night Owls, 2,600 views. The news, 15,000 views. These are very respectable for live streams for a channel this size. I mean, they're overperforming. My prepared videos, in my view, are underperforming, but they're doing well. Again, I'm still in the top 1% of all content creators on YouTube on the planet based on you guys watching the program. Thank you for that. And I'm also, for the category I'm in the top 2,000, also even better. And in the United States, I'm even a better number. Yep. Let's be honest. Don't understand. Okay. Road Captain Kev, what's going on? Deliver a bottle of water with laxatives. Gordon Graham, were you just trolling? You haven't responded. Did you think I didn't see your comment there? Still no action from the USA. No action on what? Let's see. We bombed Iran. We've snatched Maduro. We've put tariffs on the 90 countries that were giving us unfair trade practices and changed geopolitical situation. We forced NATO countries to devote 5% of their GDP for defense. I mean, what do you mean the USA is not doing anything? We've seized a dozen tankers that are traveling under shadow fleets. All right, Alan. Mad Max, I've answered that question too. My projection, which I've said all along, is that I expect to be there by mid to late January, third week of January. I expect them to arrive. And I've also shared the process. He has to get an appointment with DERCO. He has to present his credentials. They have to accept them. That's how it works. That's how it works. Yep. So, anyway, there you have it. Unfortunately, some of our fellow citizens like to ride coattails and wants to be spoon-fed and have stuff done for them. Yeah, you're right, Peter. You're right. There's a lot of truth to that. Yep. No, Max, I say it all the time, man. You're busy looking up the news for us. You probably missed it while you get the news or making Blunt Man and Chronic. No, I've said it many, many times. Twinkle Toes, hello to you. What's going on? Yeah, no, a lot of people want to be spoon-fed. It's amazing how lazy some people are, and I don't expose them, but I mean, it's just the cheek of some people to just write to me and, and expect me to drop everything. And then, like, I got an email from someone that wrote to me, and they said, we've done everything we've asked of us. We're very patient. We're patiently waiting. And then less than 2 days later, that same person sent to me a message saying, I'm growing a bit concerned because I haven't heard from you. Okay, first off, I'm not a government official. You're just writing to an independent consultant who's giving you free consulting time and not charging you for it. And you've written to me in a time frame when I had less than 1 hour to shower and eat my meals over a 24-hour period. And the next day, the pace was almost the same. And you are impatient because I didn't drop the world and answer your email amongst the 3,000 emails I've received in the past 2 days on that subject, or the 8,000 emails I received overall, or the 2,500 WhatsApp messages I've gotten. You're upset. You're concerned. I think your expectations of the world are really confused. Would your media choices count against you? It shouldn't. I don't think it should count against you, James. I would imagine. The world is upside down. Phoenix says, it can be very frustrating. I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't be able to do so nice about it. Well, I'm very nice. And that's why when people come and act like assholes, I mean, sometimes I tolerate it. Sometimes I have enough of it. Hey, Daniel. The repeated questions every Sunday Rescue program is the perfect test case of how no one listens or takes any effort to do research. Exactly. Mostly watch Colonel. Didn't have time for other channels. See Byron's occasionally and watch Renault at times, but this is my go-to for... That's awesome. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and I wish there would be more notifications, but I have to say that the shadow banning must be off in some respects. Because let me show you something. This is fascinating. This is what's weird about YouTube. This has happened to me at least twice now, where a video that's dead and buried, I've left on my channel, suddenly takes off. And usually it's because YouTube changed their algorithm and starts promoting older videos. I don't know why. Or someone found it on social media and put it, who has a big following on Twitter. This one, I think YouTube has promoted to people. So let me show you something. This is fascinating. Let me see if it's still there. Absolutely fascinating. If it's still there. Yeah, okay. So here's a video from April 12th of 2024, nearly 2 years ago. Watch this. Hang on. So check this out. This video, you're going to love this. This is hilarious. So this video I released nearly 2 years ago, okay? It's a short. I was at the War College. It had 314 views in the first day, April 13th, okay? And then at 8:22, after 51 days, 2 months, it had 800. And look at this, 800, nothing. And then a year later, it jumped, okay, to 1,600. And all of a sudden, on December 14th, it suddenly took off this past year. And then on December 20th, it went from 4,300, look at that, over a couple of days, to 51,659 views. That short gave me 72 subscribers from 2 years ago. What the hell? Because YouTube is promoting that. And 98% of the people watch it stay for the entire duration. That's insane. That's unheard of for a video. 98% of the people that found this video watched it, and they watched 52 seconds of the minute one long. But it got me 72 subscribers. I made $2.20 in ad revenue too, but look at that. 51,659 views for a video that had 300 views on the first day 2 years ago. Now you tell me that makes any sense. You tell me that makes any sense whatsoever. So obviously I found something, or the algorithm had changed, and boof. Your comments were not shadow banned because you refused to watch ads. No, they're not. Recently, when opening YouTube, your content is showing up again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And that's one reason why I'm getting so many people in the live stream. So, yeah, see that? Yeah, you're right. It's mental, Hendo. I mean, if only they hadn't banned me all this time, I would probably have a few million subscribers. And then I could devote all my time. Yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix. Hey, Greg. Yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix. It won't last. No, so I mean, if I had a few million subscribers and a bunch of people in the States and I was getting ad revenue off that, I would be making Quan big time, and I would be able to do things like the trip I'm doing to Texas. I could do things like that all the time. As it is, I fund those things. The trips to South Africa, as I told you guys, usually cost me between $7,000 and $10,000 per trip. I know. What's going on? You don't apologize for being late. You can be here when you can be here. Good to see you. We appreciate the view. Yeah, so out of my pocket, I typically pay $7,000 to $10,000. I've done 6 trips to South Africa. You do the math on that. And I don't even count all that as part of my expenses in my business. If I added all that in, and people like someone the other day saying you're disingenuous, you're making money off the FGU program. I'm not making money off the FGU program. Nope. Anyway, so yeah, you figure, let's go with 10,000, 6 times, that's 60,000. But the average would be 8,000. So take 12,000 off, that's 48,000 just for the trips. Never mind the internet charges, the subscription charges. Like I told you, I spend like $5,000 a year on subscriptions. $5,000. $5,000. So I can access all these scumbag leftist media outlets so I can refute their garbage and expose the truth. Yep. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. No, Yaku, you're misunderstanding. Okay, so let me be clear about that, okay? This came a few nights ago. Somebody came on and I said that I forego a lot of money. I estimated the amount of time that I spent based on what I charge per hour for consulting services, which is anywhere from $250 an hour to $1,000 an hour. Because of my unique skill set, I can demand that kind of money, and I can get it. If I'm looking for the work, I can get it because of my background, my experience. People pay that much for me to provide business services, but I don't do that. I do that occasionally. So that's what I can charge. But just going with the lower rate of $250, I added the hours that I've done this year, rough estimate of how much I've spent giving advice, answering questions, doing meet and greets, doing presentations, making videos about the FGU program. And I've foregone about $1 million of revenue this past year. I just didn't make $1 million. Now, I would never got paid for all those hours because a lot of those people have no money. But I mean, if I actually got compensated for the hours I did, the work to help people understand the FGU program, just the FGU program, not even all the other stuff I do, that would have been somewhere around $1 million this past year. Do the math. That's a lot of hours. All right. So, I mean, if I charge $1,000 an hour, 10 hours, 10,000, 100 hours, $100,000, it's 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours is not that much, folks. 6 hours a day, 10 days, 60. That's 60 hours right there. 30 days, that's 180. So anyway, point is, I forewent a lot of money. So the point is, I said I forewent money. The guy said, that's disingenuous. This guy makes all kinds of money. I don't make all kinds of money. I do make money off the ads. That's correct. But this program isn't about the FGU program. That happens to be part of it. What I was saying is that I've turned down jobs north of $200,000 a year, several of them, to keep doing this because I'm committed to trying to help people, even though I had 20,000 subscribers a year ago. So that's the point. Yeah, no, please watch the ads. I do get a little bit of money from it. But understand that whenever you watch an ad, YouTube takes 45% for themselves. They give me 55%. Of the 55%, so let's say it's $1, they take 45, so I get 55 cents, but I never see 55 cents because Uncle Sam takes 28 cents, and then Pennsylvania Commonwealth takes 3 cents, and then Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid take another 17%. So I get what's left of that. So they don't take 28 cents, they take 28% of the 55. So Stu Bella says, I'm glad we have an opportunity to watch your channel. It's very informative. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. 34 degrees, Garrett. That's kind of warm. Yep. No, so Yaku, I do get ad money. I also get money from the super chats. With super chats and with memberships, YouTube takes 30%. So it's a little less onerous. But I also have PayPal, and people do PayPal, and that comes to me. So yeah. Yaku says, thank you. You're a good man. Well, that's kind of you to say, Yaku. Appreciate it. But like we got coming up now, if anybody's going to sponsor it, that's great. I already have someone in effect sponsored it. He's here tonight. And so I've already purchased my ticket, which was $679 to fly to Dallas. I've rented my car, which is $350. So we're already talking $950, over $1,000, about $1,100 already, and I haven't even gone there. No food, no petrol, no accommodation, no nothing. That's already $1,100 for the trip just to go to Dallas for a few days. Yep. What's bad, Anna? Nothing's bad. It's fine. Well, it's not that bad. Okay, light rain. No. Okay, let's go to 55%. So 55 cents. They take 28%. The bottom line is that I pay 49% of my income to the government, roughly. So of the 55 cents, if it's 60, that would mean I would get 31. It's not 60, so I'm getting about, what, 28 cents out of that dollar comes to me. The rest goes to YouTube and the government. Now, if you send me money through PayPal, then I only have to pay Uncle Sugar and I only lose 40%. No, just kidding. Modified intel, shouldn't have to explain yourself. You add value to our lives and entitled to reward for your efforts. Well, thank you for that modified intel. I'd like to think I do. No, but I don't have to explain myself. But I mean, in interest of full disclosure, not everything is available for full disclosure, but that's something that can be disclosed. I have no problem disclosing that. Yep. We listen and all info is great. No one. We just wait for the flight ticket. Gotcha. The hip, Yaku, is much better. You must have missed the last couple nights. So what happened with the hip was that I went in. It's a 5-minute procedure. It took longer to explain to me than it did the procedure. I laid down on the cot, the gurney, and or the surgical table, and it was uncomfortable because my neck was lower than my back. Spine was lifted up, and so she gave me a pillow to lift my head, and it took the pressure off. Then the doc said, "Can you keep your leg straight?" My right leg. I said, "That's the problem, doc. I can't because I can't get splayed." I said, "You're gonna have to tie it down." So he tied my leg down. He said, "You're gonna feel a little prick." And then that's the anesthesia, and he did, and I felt a little prick, and it went in. And they said, "I'm going to insert the needle." And I put the needle in. I didn't feel anything initially, but then when it got into the hip socket, I'm like, okay, I feel that. and they go, "Whoa, look at this!" Like, and I couldn't see anything. I had my eyes closed, and I couldn't see anyway because the big X-ray machines up here to guide the needle in. Anyway, so he finishes. Then he's like, starts pushing. I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, there's fluid in here," and he's pushing down on my hip. And it hurt like hell because the needle's still in there. He's squeezing his stuff out. Can you imagine? There's a needle in your hip, and this guy's pushing on your muscle and the tissue to squeeze fluid out. Anyway, he pulled out the bottle at the end. He goes, "Look, it was 5 cc's of liquid. 5 cc's. Whew, man." Anyway, so then he said, "I'm going to put the dye in now because I need the dye for contrast." And I said, "Okay, when do you know, doc?" He goes, "Oh, it's done." So I didn't feel that at all. Then he said, "Okay, we're going to put the cortisone and the medicine in there." So he takes a big needle and he connects it to the needle there and a syringe, and then he starts putting it in, and it's going in. I can see the needle from half the needle. I can see half of it, and then all of a sudden it starts hurting like hell. Like pressure, it's coming in because it's filling up the cavity there. And he pulled out and he said, "You're done. That's it." So I got up and he said, "It'll take 48 hours before the steroids or the cortisone and the medicine begin to take effect. You may feel a bit sore between now and then. Just don't twist your legs. Don't do anything extreme. Don't lift anything. And then it should start to feel better, at least for 3 months." So I got up and immediately noticed that I could straighten my leg out. It was, I mean, I can always straighten out, but it was painful. It hurt. There was pressure when I did that. It was painful. So I could straighten my foot out, and there was no, so now my gait's straight again. And I walked straight. Also, I wasn't hobbling because I was hobbling because that hip wasn't right. It was out of placement, so I was doing this. Now I could walk straight, normal gait. I'm not quite back to my normal walking style, but so that was immediate. Just taking the fluid out, I felt that boom, boom, it was great. Now I'm feeling less pain. In fact, I feel so much less pain in this hip now I notice the pain in the other hip. Anyway, yep. No matter if you like it or not, you'll pay taxes. Yep. No, modified intel, but it's look. There's people who are envious. There's people that think that they're the authority on things. There's people that think that it's their privilege to be insulting to other people. It's the nature of things. It's how people are. There's also the reality that when people say things in chat, you have limited characters, and you say something, especially if it's not your first language, it doesn't it comes across incorrectly or misunderstood. So I accept that. But yeah, there's just some people are just turds. That's just the nature of things. No, Dylan, thank you. It's doing a lot better. We'll see how it goes. As soon as I could read, I was always at our library, 5-minute walk from a SAD. I'll have to leave my books behind if it goes to the U.S. These books are out of date by the time they're published in current news. Yeah, Karen, I get you. I mean, I would suck for me. One of the things I always had to leave behind in my assignments going overseas was my books that would stay in storage. Most of them, I'd add more books. So I've got thousands of books. Yeah. No, Anna, thank you. It is much better. Not perfect, but it's much better. Yep. I used to go to the libraries all the time, but I don't like libraries. I have a better library for the stuff I like to read than the library does. They don't carry the stuff I want. Plus, I feel kind of guilty. I mean, I'm not dirt poor anymore. I'm not wealthy, but I'm not dirt poor, and I can afford my own books for the most part. So, plus, I like to mark my books up. I think you guys have seen that. Let me see if I've got one that I've read here. No, I don't think any of these are ones I've marked up. But some of the books, you can see, I really highlight a lot of them. A lot of text I do. So, anyway, yep. I have highlighters everywhere. Anyway, so yeah. So that video has 52,000 views. That's insane. What the heck? So if you're wondering what short that is, you want to go check it out. It's this one here, Jacob Zuma. This was at the War College 2 years ago. And it's got 52,000 views out of nowhere. I mean, this is just weird. Well, you've got to give it to Jacob Zuma, former president of South Africa and so-called leader of the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. He likes to make headlines. He has called out gangsters within his party. Now, that was 2 years ago. So if you guys want to go see what the fuss is about, I'll help you out with that. Whoops, get out of there. Okay, here's where that link is. You can check it out afterwards. So that isn't that weird? That's just weird. It just that happened to me in another video too. What happens is YouTube, I think, use an algorithm, look for things that are relevant, to talk about topics you talk about, and just start promoting the videos and just drive people there. A lot of people are commenting on the videos if I just wrote it. I mean, I wrote it 2 years ago. A lot of times when that happens, people go, "Well, this isn't right. That isn't true." I'm like, dude, I wrote that 2 years ago. It was ground truth then. Things have changed since then. You're welcome, work people. Please check it out when you get a chance. Good morning, Ronell. What's going on? Okay, so let's get back to what I had left in the news. Got some South African news here. South Africa's strained ties with the United States come into play. That's right, because of its naval exercise, if you want to call it that. South Africa's strained ties with the U.S. face a new test: war games with China, Iran, and Russia. Vessels flying Chinese, Iranian, Russian flags have been seen sailing in South Africa's main naval base in Simonstown on the Cape Peninsula in recent days. The week-long drill got underway Friday. It's being led by China and involves other members from an alliance of major developing countries, except it doesn't. The only one there is Russia, China, South Africa, and Iran. There's an Iranian ship. Look at the front of this ship, how rusty it is. By the 8-2, that looks terrible. That's an Iranian ship. You can see the Iranian flag on the back of it. South Africa's Defense Department said the navies were gathering for an intensive program of joint maneuver safety operations, interoperability drills, and maritime protection serials. Interoperability. Chinese ships are built by China. Russian ships are built by Russia. Iranian ships are built by, I don't know, the French, whoever built them. And the South African ship are built by the Germans. Nothing is interoperable. Nothing. They speak Farsi, Mandarin, Russian, Zulu, Xhosa, Venda. They don't speak anything in common except broken English. Oh, that's why they don't show the dates. That's why the comment likes Reese's. I didn't realize that, Utopia. Thanks. That's a good point. Yeah, I heard the harbor master inform the Russian ship that the South African flag was upside down. The blue and the red were transposed. Oh, my goodness. Only in South Africa. Here you go. Here's a Russian ship coming in. China, Russia, Iran start BRICS plus naval exercise in South Africa. What's the plus? No one else is involved. Who's the plus? Iran is part of BRICS now. What a joke. What an absolute joke. China, Russia, and Iran began a week of naval exercise in South Africa's waters on Saturday in what the host country described as a BRICS plus operation. Where is the plus? Where's the plus? And what does naval exercise have to do with a counterweight to Western economic dominance? Are you going to interdict our ships at sea? I don't think so. Rogue states Russia, Iran, and China joined naval drills alongside South Africa as tensions mount between several countries in the bloc of nations and the U.S. Yep. 10-country economic alliance formed in 2009 and sees itself as a counterforce to U.S. dominance, except it's not. Is it just me, or does that Russian ship look a little bit unstable and listing to the starboard side? It looks to me like it's, the tug's pushing it like they might flip it over. Yeah. The drill is being questioned by observers who are skeptical over why a supposed economic alliance need to carry out a military exercise. Exactly. Alliance was slammed by South Africa's main opposition party, which said it contradicts our stated neutrality. Calling these drills BRICS cooperation is a political trick to soften what's really happening. Governments choosing closer military ties with rogue and sanctioned states such as Russia and Iran, adding that the relationship is making South Africa a pawn in the power games being waged by these countries. Now it's called Will for Peace instead of Mosi 3. There's a Chinese ship. Oh boy. A small group of Ukrainian immigrants in South Africa showed up, rocked up to protest no to Russian Navy in South African waters. A small group of Ukrainian immigrants living in Cape Town gathered Friday at Simonstown. They're protesting Russia's participation in the exercise. Ukrainian expat Katerina Fedkina said they were asking South Africa to stop military cooperation with Russia, which she described as an aggressive state. It's an emotional and hard for us to see that Russian Navy is killing Ukrainian people doing its Navy training in South African waters. Well, the ANC doesn't care what you think. South Africa defends the BRICS naval drills as essential. Essential for what? You can't even keep your Simonstown naval base operational. Essential for what? Here's 2 tugs pushing that ship into place. Oh boy. Venezuela had joined the BRICS nation. Wonder where their status is now. China, Russia, and Iran send ships to South Africa. Here are Chinese and Iranian ships docked at Simonstown Harbor. The Iranian ship's out at sea. It's not docked. Yep. Will for sanctions. Yeah, they want sanctions. I think you're right about that. I think it's the bottom line. They want sanctions. We haven't written any songs tonight. Where's our boat? So I gather Rand refused to pull out unless the... okay. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm not going to say that. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh. So I forgot I got 4 broadcasts tomorrow. On Rugby Ascent at 8 o'clock, I've got the Stormers game against the Harlequins in London. Then at 10:30, I've got the news. So Stormers, news, Refugee interview, Coffee Clutch. 4 broadcasts tomorrow. Lots going on. And also the stuff people sent me for the Buckman. I have to review that still. I haven't had a chance to get around to that. So, yep. Anyway, so we've got an event coming up in Texas, folks, in Dallas, Texas. That's coming up on the 31st of January. I'll be doing other stuff on the heels and on the before and after that, but that's the day that we'll let people come up. So if there's people in the area that I can visit or want me to meet up with them or to appear in any programs, I'm happy to do that as well. Yep. Anyway, so people don't have to RSVP, but it would be nice to get an idea how many people are going to come. So mostly 3. That's good, Joe, Texas. So, yeah. Anyway, there'll be adverts coming out on it. I'll be sharing online. John B. Wells has been announcing it on his program since yesterday. And we'll see. So we'll see what happens. But it should be pretty cool. It's a big Texas meet and greet on 31st of January. If we get any sponsors to help pay for the event or help fund it, that'll be great. I already got someone who unofficially sponsored, and that's been very helpful. Helped with the flight ticket and with the rental reservation. The half that donation was meant for me to enjoy for myself, but I used it to pay for trips, so that's what I typically do. It's kind, though. Powerful tugboats can have an effect on ships maneuvering. Yeah, I know, it's true. Yeah, you got to be careful with the tugs. Yeah. Anyway. So, gosh, guys, I'm not in the mood to make a song tonight, but let's take a look very quickly here at the Stormers lineup for tomorrow. Also got to pay my water bill. My water bill came in. It's $200. It's not due till February, but I like to pay it early. $200. That's 3 months. So that works out to about $70 a month, which is about double what it was a few years ago. It's crazy. Anyway, Wargelant at fullback. Dylan Mart on the right wing. Dylan Mart, interesting guy, along with Gershwin there. Suleiman Hatzenberg and Damon Willemse in the center. Willemse is the captain. Luke Berger on the left wing, Yuri Mattia at the fly half, Devol Devanaga, love him as a scrum half, back from Italy. He is in there. Marcel Tennyson, Ben Jason Dixon, Lou Nell, Ruben van Heerden, Connor Evans, Zachary Porthen, Lucanio Vocazela, and Ali Kebble, back from Scotland. Off the bench, Scar Ntabane, Vernon Matongo, Henkes van Wyk, Alex Groves, Wandile Malaba, don't know him, Imad Khan, Clinton Swart, and Fundo Ndlovu. Don't know him either. The referee is going to be that terrible Georgian official, Nika Amashkuli. And the assistant referees are from Georgia and Wales. Got Shota Tedzvadze, Amber Stamp Dunstan, I don't know her, and Ben Whitehouse. I know Ben Whitehouse. So that's against the Harlequins. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see if there's anybody we know on the Harlequin squad. Marcus Smith, we know him. Alex Dombrent, Kieran Treadwell, and that's about it. Off the bench, that's about it. So the rest of them I don't really know. Names I'm not that familiar with. Anyway, now I fly way early on Thursday so I can get down late Thursday morning. Gives me the rest of Thursday. Gives me all of Friday. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it gives me all of Friday. And then I come back in the evening on Tuesday. So I'll basically have most of Thursday, all of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I come back Tuesday. So, yep. You guys have gotten very quiet on me. What's going on? Everyone went quiet. Do we have to do a song to cheer everybody up or chase people away? Let's see. Come on. The Raid on Woodmead. The Lying Dutchman. I like to work without. Someone asked me to play Working Without Compensation the other night.
The lights are flickering at Lutherley House. The treasure is quiet as a church mouse. Got a stack of invoices on the floor. Creditors banging on the black and green door. The kids are crying, the fridge is bare. There's a tension hanging in the stale office air. We don't want a banquet, we don't want a spree. Everybody just wants a bucket of KFC. It's a flashback, a rerun, a glitch in the screen. We've been here before, if you know what I mean. 18 months, we waited in line, running on empty, losing our minds. Now the election bills are overdue, and the party planners are coming for you. Working without compensation, it's a payroll disintegration. How can we trust you with the state of the nation when you can't meet a simple obligation? Working without compensation, total financial stagnation.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Jakob.
You wanna run the country, you wanna lead the way, but you can't find the cash at the end of the day. Hardworking staff left out in the cold. Stories of funding that never got told. Did the wire transfer get stuck in the sand? Did Tehran run out of money on the man? Pick up the hotline, make a dash. Go ask the BRICS countries for a little bit of cash. It's a bad habit, breaking the trust, turning the legacy into dust. 18 months was a lesson learned, but the bridge is already being burned. Working without compensation, it's a payroll disintegration. How can we trust you with the state of the nation when you can't meet a simple obligation? Working without compensation, total financial stagnation. They talk about policy, they talk about the land, they talk about taking what is in your hand. Look on the bright side, through the frustration. At least it is not yet. Expropriation without compensation.
So here's a tribute to someone many of you know. All right, it's a tribute to someone many of you know. See if we got the right one here. I think it's this one. Thank you, Michelle, for your membership.
Die stofpad is lank, maar ons kom van ver. Om te staan in die lug, syn die suiderster. Die saal is gepak, die atmosfeer laai. Ons wag vir die oomblik, laat die musiek nou waai. Mense van heinde oor die vlaktes en berg, vir 'n man wat sy siel in elke noot verberg. Om hom te hoor sing, om hom hier te sien, dis die tipe respek wat 'n legende verdien. Van die sippiese stories tot die groot verhoog, het jy ons laat huil en laat glo. Agter elke man tot die diepste treurkrom, dis jou voetspore vas op hierdie grond. Stuur jy sy stem, die man van die dag, 'n rots in die storm, 'n vriend en 'n maat vir die taal, vir die volk, staan jy onbevrees, waar ander bly stil bly, sal jy die een wees. O, Steven, jou woorde vind ons krag, 'n legende wat skyn in die donkerste nag. Steve, hoor vir my, hulle gooi dalk die klippe, die woorde is vuil, omdat jy die waarheid onbeskaamd vertel. 'n letterkundige gees met 'n pen in die hand, jy skryf vir die siel van ons dierbare land. Beginsel vas teen die stroom en bly staan, van die dae van Bruce tot in 7de laan. Dekades se passie, dekades se vuur, jy gee alles vir ons, uur na uur. Ja, van sippiese stories tot die groot verhoog, het jy ons laat lag, laat huil en laat glo. Agter elke man tot die diepste treurkrom, dis jou voetspore vas op hierdie grond. Stuur jy sy stem, die man van die dag, 'n rots in die storm, 'n vriend en 'n maat vir die taal, vir die volk, staan jy onbevrees, waar ander bly stil bly, sal jy die een wees. O, Steven, jou woorde vind ons krag, 'n legende wat skyn in die donkerste nag. Laat die wêreld maar raas, laat die kritiese praat, al ken nie die hart van 'n man van sy staat. Hy's meer as akteur, hy's meer as gesang, hy's die stem van 'n volk wat na vryheid verlang. Die stem, die man van die dag, 'n rots in die storm, 'n vriend en 'n maat vir die taal, vir die volk, staan jy onbevrees, waar ander bly stil bly, sal jy die een wees. O, Steven, jou woorde vind ons krag, 'n legende wat skyn in die donkerste nag. Steve Hofmeyer, die legende, en woord en daad vir ons.
Well, that's my tribute song to Steve Hofmeyer. I hope you like that one. That's one of my favorites. I like this one too. Which one's this? I played this 8 times. What song is this? Oh, here we go. I forgot about this. Tuesday of 2 months is Minnesota. Wow, that's cool.
The sugar cane was wilting in the heat of Natal. I was looking for a paycheck, looking for a pal. Then the daughter of the president, she came into town with a smile like a diamond and a promise meant to drown. She said, boys, I got a job for you, security and guard. Was training up in Russia and the work ain't all that hard. So I packed my bag in Durban, kissed my mama at the door, thinking I was learning tactics, not heading for a war. Now I'm desperate in the Donbass, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Lord, get me out of here, back to KZN. We landed in the winter in a place I couldn't name. They handed us a paper, told us sign to play the game. But the letters were all twisted like wire on a fence. I couldn't read a single word, it didn't make no sense. It was Russian on the dotted line, a language made of ice. I signed away my freedom, didn't ask about the price. We thought we'd march and train and drill safe behind the line, but they loaded up the transport trucks and drove us to the mine. Now I'm desperate in the Donbass, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Lord, get me out of here, back to KZN. Past my head like angry hornet bees. I'm digging in the mud and dirt, shaking on my knees. This ain't no security class, this is the killing floor. I've had enough of fighting, I've had enough of war. Don't want no rubble pavement, don't want no foreign glory. I just wanna live to tell my children this damn story. About the woman coming off the Indian Sea and a plate of bunny chow waiting there
Bunny
for
chow.
me. But the artillery is screaming, tearing up the trees, and I'm sending voice notes home begging, help me please. Tell the lady who recruited us she sold us out for dead, while she sits safe in luxury with roof above her head. Yeah, I'm desperate in the Donbass, shivering in the snow, Lord. I'm 3,000 miles from the only home I know. The sky's gray and angry and the ground is frozen hard. I ain't no paramilitary, ain't no bodyguard. I'm praying to the heavens, let this nightmare end. Please get me out of here, back to KZN. Take me back to KZN. I can't read the contract, just wanna see the sun again. KZN.
If you like that, I just want to live and tell my children this damn story. Yaku, lekker Brian, thank you for that. All right, so Steve Hofmeyer's song is being loaded up now. I never published it before. Steve Hofmeyer, Die Stem wat Blastan. Okay, so that's now being published. Okay, Steve Hofmeyer, there you go. I hadn't published that song before, so I hope you guys like that when it gets up on all the platforms. Good morning, Proudly Born. I see what's going on. Mother will arrive. Thank you for 140 Rand super chat. Steve Really Passion, local filmmaker, set him up and pulled a prank on him at a performance for his movie. I thought Steve was going to blix him. Yeah, I'll bet he was. Steve is awesome. Great guy. Miss your parents. Okay, sorry to hear that. Anton. All right, guys. Wow. We've had a consistent number of people here who have just hung around for the same amount of time. It's pretty cool on a Saturday night when I don't usually do these. But I've got rugby in the morning, so then we've got all this other stuff going on. I need to do a little bit of work tonight. Leon Schuster. I wonder how he's doing. He had a medical procedure last time I heard. Anyway, open war in the DA. We'll talk about this one probably tomorrow. Oof. Sacked Minister Dion George takes Steenhuisen to the public protector. John Steenhuisen has been taken to the public protector. The DA's bitter internal row has escalated with axed former Environment Minister Dion George taking the unprecedented step of reporting party leader John Steenhuisen to the public protector. In a lengthy and frequently emotional submission, George alleges that Steenhuisen had him axed from the cabinet under false pretenses in favor of Willie Ocamp, whose family George alleges benefits from the highly lucrative trade in lion hunting. The bombshell 84-page affidavit of public protector, complete with pictures of Ocamp family members with lion cubs, follows weeks of acrimony between the two senior party leaders who were once close friends. Wasn't John Steenhuisen and Michael Beaumont, weren't they once close friends too? Weren't they close friends at one time too, Michael Beaumont and John Steenhuisen? I'm just saying. Woo, George's complaint comes just over a week after Ocamp himself approached the public protector. Rapport reported 2 weeks ago that Ocamp accused George of abusing state resources. The tit-for-tat complaints come ahead of the crucial DA elective leadership Congress in April when Steenhuisen hopes to be elected for a third term. Okay, don't hold your breath on that one, folks. Don't hold your breath on that one. All right, well, people are starting to leave now, so I guess I'll leave too. Bought myself a bicycle yesterday and rode it home. I live about 5 kilometers from town. I feel proud of myself. Rode a bicycle with 16. That's amazing, Marissa. That's something else. Excuse me. Yeah, they've voted him Dirtbag of the Year. Yeah. Did I discuss your WhatsApp with an old? No, I did not. I mean, I didn't know you sent me WhatsApp. I get so many of them. I don't know which one. You've sent me stuff, and there's polls and stuff here. I mean, you didn't ask me any questions. Now it's locked up. Come on. Freaking WhatsApp is become such a pain in the ass. It doesn't work anymore. I think my files are too big. It's not letting me. It's frozen. I can't do anything with it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, now it's crashing. Well, thank you, WhatsApp. Yep, it crashed. Okay. Okay, well, it has to reboot, so... Oh, okay. Well, that's... Gosh bless it. Oh, damn it. It's like dealing with a freaking 8086 computer. What's going on here? Okay, Oh, okay. Well, did he do it? I haven't talked to Ronaldo. I haven't talked to Ronaldo in some time. What? Oh, okay, I got you. No, I'll okay, I didn't realize that last paragraph was for me. I see that now. I will look into what your request is. But I mean, everyone's thinks I've got so much time. Sorry about that, Emma. Okay, guess who? Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness, Mad Max is having too much fun. Okay, so I don't know if that's a video or an image. I think it's an image. Yeah, it's an image. Okay. So this is what Mad Max made. So here you go. This is fun stuff. I'm enjoying this. Here you go. Look at the eyes on Carter, man. Look at the eyes on Carter. Did you send it to Ronaldo? I like how you took the World Rugby symbol. You made it look like an onion, glass onion. That's pretty cool. You're welcome, Dion. Carter does look cool. Look at him. It looks really cool. His eyes are electrified, man. That's funny. That's my Burmese. That's my Burmese. It's funny. I'm loving it. It's cool stuff. Like McDonald's, man. I'm loving it. Okay, why is it not? There we go. Anyway. It's hilarious. Well, have you guys all seen the video? Have you seen the where is it at now? I gotta find it. I already put it. I gotta start. Here it is.
In the near future ruins of a hyperkinetic Johannesburg, we meet Mad Max. Mad Max isn't a soldier. He's a courier of truth with a specialized kinetic suit powered by vibranium scrap tech that allows him to move with blistering speed through dangerous territories. Mad Max has come into possession of the receipts, a decrypted digital drive containing evidence of a shadow government's plan to expropriate land and use race laws against its minorities. Realizing the local authorities are compromised, Mad Max knows he has only one contact left, an old ally living in Pennsylvania.
The Great Crossing.
Max faces a massive hurdle. He is on a global no-fly list. The action Mad Max uses his kinetic suit to hijack a high-speed Venezuelan smuggler's vessel off the coast of Cape Town, battling Democratic Alliance, a group of tech-enhanced maritime mercenaries under the rule of John Steenhausen. He eventually makes landfall in Brazil and begins a grueling journey north. Along the way, he uses his wits and the last of his suit's power to bypass narco-level border security drones, eventually sneaking into the U.S. via a merchant ship docked in Delaware. Issue number 3. The hunt for Bachman. Mad Max arrives in the rolling hills of rural Pennsylvania. He is looking for Bachman, a legendary former American intelligence officer hero who retired to a quiet farm near Amish country. The name Bachman comes from his signature helmet, a reinforced springbok skull plated in lightweight alloys. Mad Max tracks him down through a series of cryptic markers left in local Afrikaans-run diners. Just as Mad Max reaches the farm, he is intercepted by the Red Berets, a hit squad sent to ensure the receipts never see the light of day.
Issue number 4.
A massive battle ensues on the Pennsylvania farmland. Mad Max and Bachman fight side by side. Mad Max providing the speed and Bachman providing the raw tactical strength of a seasoned warrior. They defeat the hit squad using a combination of high-tech weaponry and farm equipment.
Battered and bruised, Mad Max hands over the glowing digital drive.
The truth is all there. Everything they're doing back home, it's all in the receipts.
Issue number 5.
The new dawn. Bachman plugs the drive into a secure terminal linked to a secret underground door that international whistleblowers. He sighs, a look of relief washing over his face.
The reveal.
Bachman explains that he hasn't just been hiding. He's been lobbying. He reveals an executive order signed by the American president.
You did it, Mad Max.
Bachman says, because of these receipts, we've triggered the South African Federated Emergency Act. A massive refugee program has been greenlit. Any minority being targeted or displaced now has safe passage and a guaranteed home here in the States.
Mad Max and Bachman looking out over the Pennsylvania sunrise, knowing the first transport planes already fueled and ready to bring their people to safety.
So it's not published. Max, can I publish that, or is it on your channel? I mean, if you give me permission, I'll go and fix the Marvel to Marvelous. Yeah. If Max gives me permission, I'll publish it on my channel, but it's not published. Oh, it's pretty good though. All right. So if he gives me permission, I'll do it. Anyway, But that'll be another task for tomorrow. Anyway, guys, thanks. That's going to do it for tonight. Pretty entertaining. Yeah, no, I'll take care of it. There it is. There, I got permission, so I'll publish it and I'll fix it. We'll call it Marvelous. Yep. And we'll change it yellow or gold. All right. Good night, everybody. Be well. Thanks. Cheers. Appreciate you bees being here. You guys being here, excuse me. I know I'm tired when I start mumbling, and I'm mumbling now. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. How are we doing likes? Let's see real quick. We got 206 likes. Not bad. Not bad. Cheers.